Right now, it's snowing outside. I think for all Canadians, I could say that we know two things are happening when it's snowing. One, it's winter, and two, it's hockey season. But that second statement isn't entirely true because in reality, hockey season is all the time in Canada. For our multicultural nation, there are only a few bonds that really connect across the country, and hockey is one of them. Hockey is a sport of tradition and history. Elements of old school hockey depicted in the 1977 classic Slapshot still exist in the game because at its core, hockey is a conservative sport. It wasn't until 1962 that the first goalie wore a mask, and it was a continual but slow progression from there that has brought hockey to the place where it is today, where the position of the goalie is completely different, but that's been over decades. For the hockey stick, the wood stick became a two-piece composite stick, then now a one-piece composite stick that allows players to shoot harder, faster, and quicker. But again, a change that has occurred over a long time period. But there's a revolution occurring in hockey. It's not a revolution that's directly visible on the ice, such as with different equipment. No, instead, it's a revolution of numbers. It's about analytics, and patterns, and data, using statistics to quantify performance and project future outcomes. Analytics has been changing all sports, first starting with baseball, immortalized in Michael Lewis' famous book, and now Brad Pitt starring film Moneyball. And now hockey has entered that era of analytics as well. So what I want to do is first tell you what hockey analytics look like, then second, tell you why they're useful, and third, tell you how they're improving the game. So, at its basic core, hockey is a really simple sport. All you have to do to win is score more goals than your opponent. That is all. However, at the same time, it's more difficult to quantify and analyze hockey than baseball. According to Tom Rainey, CEO and President of Hockey Canada, the game is more impulsive, more spontaneous, more dynamic, more inventive, more creative, more imaginative, faster. But that doesn't mean analytics can't be effective for hockey. Traditional statistics have existed in hockey for a long time. Hits, shots, plus minus. But the aim of the current wave of hockey analytics is to gather better data and provide better statistics to create a stronger correlation between the analytics and the ability to predict future events. In essence, the aim is to quantify what leads to goals and wins. And to do that, I'm going to show you a basic set of statistics. So these statistics are Corsi relative, zone starts, zone enters and exits, and quality of competition. And these are all actually really simple stats. They're either counting shots towards or at your net, or where a player starts in the offensive or defensive zone, or how often they're able to exit the zone, or enter the zone. And quality of competition determines the difficulty of a player's ice time based on the players on the ice at the same time. And so what each of these statistics aims to do is help to provide a piece of a puzzle to understand how goals are scored. Because at its core, hockey is a game about scoring goals. More goals than the opposition. So I think now that I've kind of provided this basic outline of what hockey analytics are aiming to do, I can show you how they're useful. So analytics are useful because at their core, they provide more information that allows us to understand the game of hockey better. But also, they do something really important. They help us understand the game better through allowing us to see the reality of the game and put aside our perceptions of the game. And for example, what that means is that for fighting, the general myth around fighting is that whoever wins the fight, that team is going to have the momentum. Well, in reality, analytics show that while energy is gained from fights, that's completely random. It does not necessarily go to the winning team. It can go to the losing team. It's just random. The best example of perception versus reality in hockey is Don Cherry. He's famous for his bias against non-Canadians. And while bias is part of human nature, it's not something that we should allow to alter our perception of reality. It's beneficial to remove bias. For example, you can look at the You Can Play project, which ensures that equality and respect, regardless of any other factor, are what enables someone to enjoy a sport. And analytics supports this movement because it aims to move past perceptions to see the reality of the sport. Analytics also aims to make the sport more understandable for both the casual and hardcore fan. For the casual fan, single, easy to understand unified stats, for example, WAR and baseball, are now being utilized in hockey to provide a simple tool for anyone to pick up and understand performance in the game. For the hardcore fan, I think the opinion of Travis Yost of TSN puts it perfectly. Over the years, he says that watching hockey for him has changed completely because of analytics making him understand the game better and how not just the offensive zone or defensive zone, but the neutral zone plays a huge factor in goal scoring. So, analytics are not only useful in removing bias and helping to understand the game, they're also improving the game. They are being used by teams to make better player personnel decisions. This past summer, the Toronto Maple Leafs hired a new assistant general manager and staff, and they also signed a deal with SAS to help build out their analytics department. And the whole reason behind this is because of the value that analytics has to hockey and in improving hockey. Players are now being utilized on the ice differently. So that role a certain player would have had before has now changed how the coach decides to place them in certain situations. And this is all because of analytics. There's been a shift to focus on possession instead of other factors as it helps determine goal scoring, which determines wins. Because analytics have helped us to understand the game, and it's no surprise that the teams that analytics predict to do the best have been winning the Stanley Cup. Chicago and LA, which have won 4 of the past 5 Stanley Cups, are the teams that should be winning the Stanley Cups based on the analytics we have and we use. So what does this revolution all mean in the end? Hockey analytics aims to collect data to analyze and provide correlations and predictions that lead to success in hockey. It helps remove bias and provide understanding to the game for both casual and hardcore fans. And it's helping to improve the results on the ice as teams adapt and use analytics to improve their team. So, if you're a fan of hockey like me, this is an era of hockey that's great, as it only aims to improve the game of hockey for everyone on and off the ice. There's not many things Canadians like more than a good old game of hockey.